because you heard his name from somebody else passing by on the number 26 bus. No, it don't work like that. He revealed his will to servants, not to passers by. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 6 and start at verse 16 through 23. So we have to remember what is written. Our people, we didn't lose this land because of all of these natural things that people want to talk about. We lost our land because we wouldn't walk in righteousness in it, which is keeping the Sabbath. Nehemiah said that. Because we did not remember the Sabbath to keep it holy, our kids are going into captivity for this. Our fathers went into captivity. We just now coming back. We can't do that here. We will not allow that to happen again. This is why we ended up as slaves. But understand, keeping the Sabbath day don't just mean you showed up. Understand, this is Yahweh's day. He said, be careful. Don't mention your own words and your own things on his day. So is it his day or your day? The Sabbath ain't over because the sermon ended. And we have to understand and learn how to present ourselves in front of the angel that stands at the door. What you think that tabernacling of 1,000 years in peace is all about? Sabbath, rest, peace. There won't be no violence in that land. And if you're going to do violence, you're going to be reaped out of it. So you have to learn how to keep the Sabbath now. Ain't going to be no practice in there. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 16. These 6 things does Yahweh hate. Yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood.
And we have a proud look in a minute. See? What do you think everything is based upon when we don't want to repent? What it's about? That pride. And all of us got it. Every last one of us. We got it some way or another. Now you can try and just look in that mirror and lie to yourself if you want to and tell yourself that ain't none in there, but you're a lie. It's in there. Every last one of us got it. There's loud pride. There's quiet pride. So you see a quiet dude, you be like, oh, he ain't got no pride. He just ain't telling you his. It's all in there. He can't wait to get out of here so he can go, I ain't gonna listen to that nigga. Right. That pride is there in every last one of us. And it is what Lucifer uses. And sometimes the better you look, the worse your pride situation is. We always want to imagine Lucifer to be this ugly entity. But that beauty of his pomp drove him to think more highly of himself. Everything that he does is better than what everybody else does. I'm better. First of all, look at me. I am fantabulous. I am absolutely, I looked at me and I said, oh my God, I would love him, but that is me. Oh my God. Right. And it just increase and increase and increase. And it gets to the point, well, Yahweh just got to separate you. What you think? That whole thing is about a woman having to cover her head to come before Yahweh. She can't show her glory if she's coming to glorify Yahweh. So who's getting glory here then? Are you getting glory? And am I getting glory? I thought it was my day. So if it's my day and you glorify me, why you got all this glory showing? So it's my day or your day? So why I see your glory? For ain't it written in the book? It says what? For even nature teaches us that it's disgraceful for a man to have long hair. For a long hair is for a woman's covering. This is why you brothers supposed to cover all them locks y'all got. Them long locks are supposed to be covered. Why is your glory showing before Yahweh? Read.
I just want to add, when you was talking about that man in the mirror, isn't that where circumcision of the heart also begins? By facing that man in the mirror and finding the faults in that man in the mirror, man, and start to change that man in the mirror.
We can't see that man. We look in that mirror and we see everything behind that man. We don't see that man. We see the lamp. We see the wallpaper. We see all the stuff behind that man. But we don't see that man. If you're the same way you were 5 years ago, something is wrong. This word should be molding and shaping you bit by bit, little by little. You ain't got no time to clean up your garment when Yahshua get here. That's the stuff for them people. Trying to figure out how I get this spot off my garment. Man, I had you in a room full of cleaners. Why you got a spot on your garment? I know I had you in a room full of cleaners. They ain't never seen a cleaner. I know why they dirty. Why you dirty? Read, man.
Verse 18. And heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief. A false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren. Mm-hmm. My son, keep your father's commandment, and forsake not the law of your mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about your neck. When you goest, it shall lead you. When you sleepeth, it shall keep you. And when you awaketh, it shall talk with you. For the commandment is a lamp, and the law is light, and reproofs of instruction are the way of life.
Reproofs of instruction. We don't want to be reproved, bro. Yahshua reproved every last one of them. When they got out of line, he put them back in line. Why? So that they'll be able to attain unto their salvation. Well, he fixed all but one. Because it wasn't for him to be fixed. He had a job to do. That one he couldn't fix. And he knew he couldn't fix that. See, that's the whole thing of learning how to move within the spirit. Knowing which ones you're going to have to fight with so you can save them. And the other ones, oh, no. That's just his job. It wasn't his job to fix Judas. He couldn't fix Judas. Judas had a job to do. So unless you Judas, you're supposed to be able to be fixed. All right, let's go to Galatians chapter 5.
Galatians chapter 5 and verse 9. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. I have confidence in you through the Adonai, that you will be none otherwise minded, but he that troubleth you shall bear his judgment, whosoever he be.
Whosoever he be. Go ahead.
And I, brethren, if I yet preach circumcision, why do I yet suffer persecution? Then is the offense of the cross ceased? I would they were even cut off, which trouble you. For, brethren, you have been called unto liberty. Only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh, but by love serve you one another.
By love serve one another. See, we don't know what it's like to be fully persecuted. We don't know what it's like. We have forgotten that, we were in a place where we were persecuted just to do the daily things that we wanted to do for Yahweh. And we come up out of that, and all of a sudden we've forgotten. To the point where we get comfortable, and then get to the point where all of a sudden we persecute one another. But see, we don't know what it's like to be assaulted for praying. We don't know that kind of stuff that Daniel went through. If you pray, if you don't bow down and worship this God, we don't know that kind of stuff. But it's coming. It's coming to a town near you. Because these people ain't just pushing churches. They pushing whole religions. I can't go nowhere downtown without seeing them Mormon signs. Catholic commercials. These are not commercials for churches. They are whole organizations that are gathering up all their people so they can turn them over to the adversary. That's what they're doing. Before you go to war, they they do roll call. They start counting and getting all them in. What you think they doing? While we out here partying and BSing, they getting ready. They counting all their people. Getting all their people together. Get all the Catholics together, get all the such and such together. And let me tell you something. You far outnumbered. Go ahead.
Verse 14. For all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, you shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Now, we have a hard time doing that. We are told to love our neighbor as ourselves, but upon careful meditation on this precept, you find that there are a lot of people who hate themselves for one reason or another. And loving their neighbor as they do themselves becomes a horrible thing because they have twisted love for their own self. See, what you find is there is this self-hatred that is then projected upon other people. Y'all remember there was a time when the only comedian around was Eddie Murphy. He was the black comedian. Remember all them gay jokes he used to crack? Remember that? Come to figure out, he had self-hatred because he was gay. You see that? Then you have people who go out and attack gay people. Why? Because they hate the part of themselves. So then they attacking the part of themselves that they hate. You got skinny people. They hate thick people because they ain't thick. You got light-skinned people that hate dark-skinned people because they wish they was dark-skinned, and vice versa. You got women that hate men because they want to have the power of a man. And believe it or not, you got men that hate women because they wish they was a woman. Self-hatred. So when you get down to this, loving thy neighbor as thyself, some people don't love themselves, so they can't love you. How they gonna love you? They don't love them. But we are told, have as much peace as you possibly can. As much as possible. You can't have peace with everybody. Because everybody ain't got peace in their heart. And they don't want no peace with you. And no matter what you say, it ain't gonna make it no peaceful. Because they ain't listening to you. They ain't compromising with you. They ain't trying to hear you. You can try to go into the KKK and convince them of how they should love your blackness. You're a fool. You are not going to convince them to love you. They don't have no love for you in their heart. You can't pull blood out of a turnip. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah, it's interesting with talking about this is self-hatred because Willie Lynch did a great bang-up job. That's why we can't get a lot of sisters into this word to follow Yahweh Elohim because they have self-hatred without knowing.
Right.
You know, they have to press on nails, they got the hair, they got this and that, they got Wendy Williams teaching them to do this and all these countless shows.
Right.
And then Ellen and just so many different things that cater to them. And it's done so much so that now the black man, the black Jew, or sorry, oxymoron, the Jew, black men want to become women. And now we got all these homosexuals running around Midtown because they feel it's better to be a woman.
Well, understand something, bro. We are raised in a household that don't have any men in it. So we then what? Emulate what we see. Brother, Tupac was known as the big thug man of all. We all love thug life. Oh man, we loved it. I loved it. I still got a picture of the dude on the wall. Tupac was raised by his mama. Got around two cousins. They said, man, you act like a girl. He said, what? He had no idea. They said, man, you act feminine. He said, what you talking about? I act feminine. He said he didn't even know it. The two cousins who wasn't around their mama said, man, what's wrong with you? He started hanging around them and then he picked it up. Oh, I'm supposed to act like this. He didn't know. So when you got 78% of our houses without a man, what you expect? Even the men act like women. And they don't desire another man. They just don't know they have women tendencies because they picked them up, stuck in the house with this woman. And this is Mr. Thug Life himself. And it take a man to admit that, brother. It take a man to admit that. And that brother put that on an interview for everybody to see. He said, but through that, I learned how to love a woman. Though. Mama taught me that. That's one thing he was known for, being a ladies' man. He said, once I got up out of that, hey, I had a side that most brothers didn't have. Right. But he didn't know he had feminine ways. He was just doing what he saw and emulating his mama. So now you got all these households that's like that. Yahweh finna clean that up, bro. See, we think that you just gonna keep the Sabbath and march off into Yahweh's kingdom. Contrary, my friend. Oh no. Yahweh finna come right into your house and clean up some stuff. Some stuff that you didn't even know was dirty. He finna grab that and flip it over. What is that? See, your house can look clean until you pull that refrigerator out. Good night. What is that behind that refrigerator? Right. All that gotta be clean too, bro. All that's gotta be clean. That's what Yahweh doing. And when Yahweh get ready to clean your house, it's like when we do our so-called, what they call spring cleaning. But when we get ready to do our unleavened bread, your house look junkier when you start really cleaning it. See, straightening up don't take but 15, 20 minutes. But cleaning take a while. When you got to pull everything out the cabinet, get all behind now, everything, your whole cabinet look like it's in disarray. That's your life. Yahweh start pulling all that stuff out of your hub and sitting it on that counter. And you're like, my life is a mess. Look at that. There go my kids over here, another kid over here. And we got, right. It look like your whole life is a mess. That's because Yahweh getting ready to clean out that cabinet. Now you can fight him cleaning out that cabinet, and you won't make it in that kingdom. You got to make a decision. You want to make it in that kingdom? Let him clean that cabinet. But that means everything from your life finna be pulled out of that cabinet and sat right there. And it's going to look like your life is a mess. But then you're going to start organizing. Because you got some stuff in the wrong place. There's some things that you got on the third shelf that should be on the first shelf. There's some things you got on the second shelf should be on first shelf. There's some things you got on the left side should be on the right side. You got to let him straighten out that cabinet. And if you don't let him straighten out that cabinet, all these things that we have done will be in vain. You just be kingdom practicing. And how sad is that? To go through all these changes and still not make it in. Go ahead, man.
Galatians 5 and verse 15. But if you bite and devour one another, take heed that you be not consumed one of another. Verse 16. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and you shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Mm-hmm. For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. But if you be led of the Spirit, you are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies.
Listen to all these. These are the works of the flesh. Either one of these will get you cut off. You ain't got to have all that. Don't think you just picking out, oh, I ain't got but about 2 or 3 of these. Oh, one of them get you cut off. Either one, pick one. Close your eyes and just run across the paper and pick one. Whichever one you got, it'll keep you from going into that kingdom. Go ahead.
Verse 21. Envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, and such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim.
They which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Not they which do all things. If you do any of them such things, you shall not inherit the kingdom of Elohim. Consider that, Israel. Now, he didn't say nothing about if you don't keep the Sabbath, you won't be in here. Blah. No. You can keep the Sabbath and still have these spots in your heart. You ain't making it in. Go ahead, bro.
That's that, when you talk about murders, you got some people out here, well, I can just kill one person, I still make it in. But they don't know if, you hate your brother without just cause, you become a murderer.
Exactly.
We got to deal with that spirit. They looking at these things just things you have to do physically.
Naturally.
Right.
But what? A carnal man always thinks that you got to do it naturally. See? But they forget about the spiritual murder. See? If you speak evil against your brother without a cause, you done already murdered him. You gnashed upon him with your teeth. You bit into him. How an animal kill? With a mouth.
And the hardest part of that, our pride.
Of course. An animal don't grab no knife and stab nobody. He just bites you. He kill you with his mouth. The same way we kill people. With our mouth. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, murder. It doesn't have to be another individual. If you understand these laws and these commandments and you choose to do not, or you choose to be a hypocrite in the word, you're killing yourself. And that body don't belong to you. That body's a temple. You don't have rights to kill yourself, and you're a murderer. You might not have killed nobody else, but you knew the laws, you knew the commandments, and you chose not to walk in those things, and you killed yourself. You're a murderer.
Well, it takes time sometimes walking in this word, and everything won't be revealed to everybody at every point in the way. So we go little by little, as we read in Bible study. If you fall, you get back up. It said, just man falleth 7 times. Like you pointed out in Bible study, you shouldn't be falling in the same spot, in the same thing, at the same part of the journey. You keep falling in. You should at least be getting further on down that road before you fall. So, you may fall and it may look bleak, but you got to get back up and you got to keep going. You got to get back up and you got to keep going. But at a certain point, Yahweh gonna get tired. Yahweh is full of mercy. He is full of mercy. But you can't trick him. Yahweh will not be mocked. You won't tell him, oh yeah, I'm sorry, and you already got in your heart. The next time you're gonna do that again. Okay. You can't trick Yahweh. You can't trick Yahweh. And Yahweh gives a man enough times so he can prove to that man that that's him. See, man don't know what's him. So Yahweh let it go on enough so he can show you. You know that's you, right? I want you to see you. I remember being in the hood, brother, and I had said, this the last time I'm going to do this little illegal activity. Right? This the last time. But for some reason, it was extremely lucrative that night. My stuff disappeared faster than everybody else's stuff. I said, wow. This is awesome. Now I done already made my little vow that this is my last time I am out of this. But the money came too fast. I didn't count on that. So then I'm daydreaming. And I start saying, well, now I'm going to buy a bigger amount. And then I'm going to flip that. And then I'm going to buy this other amount. And then I'm going to flip that. And while I'm counting in my head, the Red Dog Drug Task Force pull up in front of me. All my buddies take off running. But I'm so busy in La La Land, I'm counting money. 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000. My buddies is like, man, that dude like Nino Brown, boy, he a gangster. He ain't even running. I don't see no police, brother. I see imaginary stacks of cash. Is what I see. Everybody done took off running. I'm the only fool standing on the block. But I'm counting the money, man. I see it pie in the sky, brother. I'm gone. Eventually, one of my friends come back out and grab me and snatch me in this store. He said, man, what is wrong with you? He said, you scared the police. The police got close to me. I didn't see that either. He said the police walked up and looked at me, and then he got scared and backed up and went back to the car. We need backup. Nino Brown out there. I didn't see the dude. So the dudes came in with backup then. They got a paddy wagon for me. Because they figured this dude must be a gangster. He the only dude that didn't run. Yahweh was showing me, I want you to see that this is you. See, I know what you said. You said you wasn't going to do this no more. But I need to show you the only way you're going to stop this is if I stop you. So Yahweh had to stop me. So I had to go to jail that day. But I ain't been back since. All right? But he had to show me that he was going to have to stop me. I wasn't going to stop myself. But is that not love? Go ahead, bro.
I just want to touch on a point that you got to a couple minutes ago when you say all animals kill with their teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We also consider or we call animals beast.
Right.
What is a beast in the word?
Man without law.
Oh, okay.
Right. And sometimes we set that law aside when we get ready to do what we want to do. We got convenient law. Yeah, we kind of forget Yahweh's law. See? We get in a party or whatever, and we don't want to mention, you know what I'm saying, that you know, we don't eat shellfish or pork or nothing like that. We just gonna go with the flow. You know, go ahead and get me a little of that pork chop. Cause I don't want to break up the party. The party's flowing nice. Right. And we know the word. And we'll still give somebody that mess. Right. But for the sake of the party. Let the party keep going. Right.
But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
That brother sound like the doggone Buttweiser frog over there, bro. Good night. Good night. And that was an inside one. I hate that. Good night, bro. Go ahead, man.
Verse 24. And they that are the Mashiachs have crucified the flesh with the affections and lusts. If we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Let us not be desirous of vain glory, provoking one another, envying one another.
Yes, if we live in the Spirit, let us also walk in the Spirit. Ephesians chapter 4.
Ephesians chapter 4 and verse 1. I therefore, the prisoner of the Adonai, beseech you that you walk worthy of the vocation wherewith you are called, with all lowliness and meekness, with long suffering, forbearing one another in love, endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. There is one body and one Spirit, even as you are called in one hope of your calling. One Adonai, one faith, one baptism, one Elohim and Father of all, who is above all and through all and in you all.
So we should walk on one accord. Go ahead.
But unto every one of us is given grace according to the measure of the gift of the Mashiach. Wherefore he saith, when he ascended up on high, he led captivity captive and gave gifts unto men. Now that he ascended, what is it but that he also descended first unto the lower parts of the earth? He that descended is the same also that ascended up far above all heavens, that he might fill all things. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors and teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of the Mashiach.
So everybody don't have the same gift. Everybody doesn't have the same purpose. Just because you know this word don't mean you were supposed to be a teacher. Go ahead.
Till we all come in the unity of faith and of the knowledge of the Son of Elohim, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of the Mashiach, that we henceforth be no more children, tossed to and fro, and carried about with every wind of doctrine, by the sleight of men and cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. But speaking the truth in love may grow up into to him in all things, which is the head, even the Mashiach.
Speaking the truth in love. Go ahead.
From whom the whole body fitly joined together and compacted by that which every joint supplieth, according to the effectual working in the measures of every part, maketh increase of the body unto the edifying of itself in love.
Now consider this. You have a gatekeeper standing at that gate deciding who he gonna let in. Now he's got a Hebrew who speaks constant vile out of his mouth. And then you got a Christian who ain't never kept the Sabbath day, but they got some kind of love and some kind of zeal and want to change. Don't automatically just think that he gonna let you in that door. Don't automatically think that you just gained access because you kept the Sabbath day. Keeping the Sabbath day is an act of peace. So it should be peaceful. Go ahead.
Verse 17. This I say therefore and testify in the Adonai, that you henceforth walk not as other Gentiles walk, in the vanity of their mind, having the understanding darkened, being alienated from the life of Elohim through the ignorance that is in them, because of the blindness of their heart.
Right.
Who being past feeling have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanliness with greediness. But you have not so learned the Mashiach, if so be that you have heard him and have been taught by him, as the truth is in Yahshua, that you put off concerning the former conversation the old man, which is corrupt according to the deceitful lust, and be renewed in the spirit of your mind.
Do we have a renewed mindset? So you can get in that water, but without a renewed mindset, what happened? Shut around and get right back dirty. Because your mindset ain't told you, stop walking through the mud, man. Go ahead.
And that you put on the new man, which after Elohim is created in righteousness and true holiness. Wherefore, putting away lying, speak every man truth with his neighbor, for we are members one of another. Be you angry and sin not. Let not the sun go down upon your wrath. Neither give place to the devil. Let him that stole steal no more, but rather let him labor, working with his hands the thing which is good, and he may have to give to him that needeth. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers.
And we read this every week, but people don't hear it. And understand what corrupt communication can be a whole lot of things. Just because a brother said it with a smile don't mean it wasn't corrupt. See? Go ahead.
And grieve not the Holy Spirit of Elohim, whereby you are sealed unto the day of redemption. Let all bitterness and wrath and anger and clamor and evil speaking be put away from you with all malice.
But some people think they're sick, saying things and don't, not gonna say that it's with malice. It's like when they tried to trick Yahshua. They were gonna say something, underhanded, try to catch him in his talk. Well, let's say we offer a situation trying to be slick with the talk. Right. It was still malice. And Yahweh gonna get you for it. You can try to be slick all you want. Offer it like it's something, like it ain't no knife in there. There's a knife in there. And Yahweh gonna give you one back. And you eat your grits and find out it was a knife in your grits, right? Because you put them knife in your brother's grits, Yahweh put one in yours. Go ahead.
And be you kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as Elohim for the Mashiach's sake hath forgiven you. That should be the end of that. Continue.
All right. Matthew chapter 18, verse 23.
Matthew chapter 18 and verse 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him, which owed him 10,000 talents. But for as much as he had not to pay, his master commanded him to be sold, and his wife, and children, and all that he had, and payment to be made. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Master, have patience with me, and I will pay you all. Then the master of that servant was moved with compassion, and loosened him, and forgave him the debt. But the same servant went out, and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence, and he laid hands on him, and took him by the throat, saying, Pay me that you owest.
Right. The same one that was forgiven went and found somebody that owed him something lesser and grabbed him by the throat, choking him out. Right. Go ahead.
And his fellow servant fell down at his feet and besought him, saying, Have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. And he would not, but went and cast him into prison till he should pay the debt.
Right. Now, he had mercy. Mercy was shown on him, but he didn't show no mercy. Go ahead.
So when his fellow servants saw what was done, they were very sorry, and came and told unto their master all that was done. Then his master, after that he had called him, said unto him, O you wicked servant, I forgave you all that debt, because you desired me. Should not you also have had compassion on your fellow servant, even as I had pity on you? And his master was wroth, and delivered him to the tormentors, till he should pay all that was due unto him. So likewise shall my heavenly Father do also unto you, if you from your hearts forgive not every one his brother their trespass.
Right. He shall have judgment without mercy upon those who have had judgment without mercy. But let us hear the conclusion of this matter. Psalm chapter 29. Psalms 29.
Psalm 29 and verse 1. Give unto Yahweh, O you mighty, give unto Yahweh glory and strength. Give unto Yahweh the glory due unto his name. Worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness. The voice of Yahweh is upon the waters. The Elohim of glory thundereth. Yahweh is upon many waters. The voice of Yahweh is powerful, and the voice of Yahweh is full of majesty. The voice of Yahweh breaketh the cedars, yea, Yahweh breaketh the cedars of Lebanon. He maketh them also to skip like a calf, Lebanon and Syrian like a young unicorn. The voice of Yahweh divideth the flames of fire. The voice of Yahweh shaketh the wilderness. Yahweh shaketh the wilderness of Kadesh. The voice of Yahweh maketh the hinds to calve, and discovered the forest. And in his temple doth everyone speak of his glory. Yahweh sitteth upon the flood. Yea, Yahweh sitteth king forever. Yahweh will give strength unto his people. Yahweh will bless his people with peace.
Go to Proverbs 29, bro.
Proverbs 29, verse 1. He that being often reproved hardeneth his neck shall suddenly be destroyed, and that without remedy. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Whoso loveth wisdom rejoiceth his father, but he that keepeth company with harlots spendeth his substance. The king by judgment established the land, but he that receiveth gifts overthroweth it. A man that flattereth his neighbor spreadeth a net for his feet.
Because he ain't telling him the truth. He letting him go on in that evilness. He flattering him with, oh man, it's okay. Oh, it ain't. Go ahead.
In the transgression of an evil man there is a snare, but the righteous doth sing and rejoice. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it.
Right. I didn't hear no evil, see no evil. I don't know nothing about it. Go ahead.
Scornful men bring a city into a snare, but wise men turn away wrath. If a wise man contendeth with a foolish man, whether he rage or laugh, there is no rest. The bloodthirsty hate the upright, but the just seek his soul. A fool uttereth all his mind, but a wise man keepeth it until afterwards.
That's something we got to learn. Go ahead.
If a ruler hearken to lies, all his servants are wicked.
And that's something you have to think about. You know, we was in a place where people said all manner of things, and later on found out that they done hearken unto lies. Now they want to separate themselves, saying, well, now, you know, he realized the error of his ways. But what we read earlier, they sat there while all that stuff was going on. It says if the ruler hearken unto lies, all his servants are wicked. Now they want to separate themselves from that wicked ruler. You just as wicked as he is. So you can quit your little backdoor phone calls. Go ahead.
Verse 13. The poor and the deceitful man meet together. Yahweh lighteneth both their eyes. The king that faithfully judgeth the poor, his throne shall be established forever. The rod and reproof give wisdom, but a child left to himself bringeth his mother to shame. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. Correct your son, and he shall give thee rest. Yea, he shall give thee delight unto your soul. Where there is no vision, the people perish, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. Mm-hmm. A servant will not be corrected by words, for though he understand, he will not answer. Seeth you a man that is hasty in his words, there is more hope of a fool than of him. He that delicately bringeth up his servant from a child shall have him become his son at the length. Mm-hmm. An angry man stirreth up strife, and a furious man aboundeth in transgression. A man's pride shall bring him low,
but honor shall uphold the humble in spirit. We need to consider all these things that are written here, and let it not be said unto us that it has happened unto us like the true proverb. A dog has returned to his own vomit again, and the sow that was washed to her wallowing in the mouth. Remember these things, Israel, because we do have a kingdom that we have to inherit, and we must walk in righteousness to do so. Remember the Sabbath to keep it holy. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.